Hello everyone, I am Prince Mishra, and in our series of optional syllabus discussion, in this session we will cover the remaining part of section B, paper 1, that is economic geography. So, paper 1, section B, economic geography we will cover, and the first chapter is economic geography. This is chapter number 7. Economic geography. The first topic in economic geography is world economic development, measurement and the problem. Basically this topic is associated with the famous debate of growth versus development. Because earlier time period it was being considered that the economic growth is the economic development, but later on it has been realized that economic growth will not give the guarantee that the economic growth will translate into the development. Of course, the development is not possible without the growth, but growth doesn't translate into the development by itself. There has been different indicators of the growth, different indicators of the development, like the indicators of GDP, GNP, per capita income. These are the elements of the economic growth, whereas more holistic elements like education, healthcare, gender parity, these are the indicators of the economic development. So, world economic development, what is the problem? What is the problem in the measurement and also the problems? So, this is the first topic of the economic geography. Moving to the next topic, that is the world resources and their distribution. Now, there are different types of resources. We have a mineral resources, we have a water as a resource, soil as a resource, but main focus here is the mineral, water, agriculture, these resources that needs to be covered. In fact, within the mineral we have the energy resources. So, these are some of the important resources that you need to focus. Next topic is the energy crisis. Energy crisis mainly associated with the increasing demand of the energy, availability of the energy, and how this demand and supply will have a mismatch. This demand and supply mismatch is mainly associated with some of the global problems, the geopolitical problems that the world faces, and in that wake there will be a crisis, and energy is going to be the most crucial aspect for the development. So, development, modernization is mainly depends on the energy. So, whenever there will be energy crisis, it will transform, it will affect the entire urban area, the entire country. Then we have a next topic is the limits to growth. As the name itself suggestive that it is something associated with a limitation. This limits to growth was the title that of the report that has been published. This limits to growth is also being referred as the neo-Malthusian. Like Malthus has given a population theory where he has predicted that whatever the people will do, there will be almost a collapse of the population. Very similarly, when you will have the over the period of time, if this process will continue, so definitely there will be a limitation in the growth. So, limits to growth model is based on that. Then we have and of course, the limits to growth will have a certain form of, you can say it is not correct model, because it predicted that by 2100 there will be completely collapse of the civilization. But what we need to learn that this type of model definitely gives some kind of idea to the nation, to the countries, that what needs to take care. So, every time it is not necessary that the models are correct, but these predictive models always give some food for thought for the other type of other aspects of the growth development. तो लिमिट्स टू ग्रोथ एक तरीके से बहुत करेक्ट मॉडल नहीं है, but definitely it has sensitized that how to harness the resources, how to look out the environmental issues in the resource harnessing. Then the next topic is the world agricultural typology of agricultural region. So, it is associated with the topic of agriculture, what are the different areas that where agriculture is being done and different crops that are being produced. Depending upon that different crops, how the world can be divided in different cropping regions, like some of the area is rice dominated, wheat dominated, plantation dominated. So, the world agricultural typology. So, different types of agriculture that are being prevalent. So, there are different variety of the differentiation types of agriculture. Then agricultural inputs and the productivity, this is a very important aspect. The different components, be it your seeds, be it your fertilizers, infrastructure. Then you will have the agricultural productivity, why the productivity is higher in some area, why the productivity is less in other area, the technology, role of technology, role of modernization in agriculture. So, everything is being associated with this topic. Regularly you will get a good question from this particular topic. In fact, in this world agriculture typology itself, you are supposed to study one very important predictive model, that is the agriculture locational model. This agriculture locational model was given by the von Thünen. So, von Thünen has suggested that if you want to make agriculture profitable, so this is the pattern of agricultural activity, where you need to grow which type of crop. So, von Thünen's agricultural model is also being associated with the agriculture. Then we have a food and nutrition problem. Food and nutrition problem mainly deals with the different idea, different aspects of the nutrition, like you will have the malnutrition, over some undernourishment, overnourishment, hunger problem, hidden hunger problem. So, that is being associated with this topic. Then we have the food security, how important is the food for overall growth, for the overall development of the society. So, how it is important, that is the food security. Then we have the next topic is famine. Famine is simply when you will have the extreme form of the unavailability of food, waters, when we will have the different climatic hazard that will result into the famine. So, holistic topic like causes, effects, remedies, everything. Then we have world industries location pattern and the problem. So, moving from the agriculture to the next topic is the industry. Again in industry we have an industrial location model. Industrial location model is being given by the Weber. So, Weber's industrial location model, which is again a predictive model, that where to set up the industry to make the industry profitable. In fact, that industrial location model is a very important model. So, along with this industrial location model. Then we have a patterns of world trade, how the trade is happening, how the trade is changing, the behavior of the trade, the overall value of the trade, that which of the countries earlier was leading and now what is their position. So, everything that you are supposed to study. Then we have a topic of while scarcity of water resources are felt locally, but its causes are increasingly global. Comment. So, if you look out the questions, you will find in 2024 there were 3 questions, 115 marker, 120 marker, 110 marker. So, total 45 marks. If you look out 2023, there was 110 marker and 115 marker, that is 25 mark. So, scarcity of water directly from the resources topic, that is water. Then we have explained the basis of D. Whittlesey's classification. So, explain the basis of D. Whittlesey's classification of agricultural regions. So, agricultural typology, Whittlesey's model. Then analyze the spatial change and emerging pattern of semiconductor manufacturing in the world. This can be considered as the moderate question, but these two are the direct question from the topic. Then discuss critically food and nutrition problem. Again you can see the importance of the syllabus. So, direct questions is being picked from the topic, that is food and nutrition problem associated with it. Then explain population, resources and development nexus in the limits to growth model. Again the direct question from the topic. So, the understanding of the topic is very important. Moving to the next topic in our discussion, next chapter. So, in human geography, the 6th chapter is a perspective in human geography, 7th chapter is of economic geography, 8th chapter is the population and settlement, 9th chapter, so it is a chapter number 9, that is regional planning. Chapter number 9, regional planning, and some of the important topics of this chapter is concept of region. So right from the ideas of areal differentiation, regional synthesis, now exactly what is region, how this region concept evolve, then what are the types of region and methods of regionalization. So types of region, methods of regionalization, concept of region, in fact here evolution of region. So evolution of region, concept of region, types of region, methods of regionalization. Then this model of region, this why we are dividing we are dividing the world in different regions, and what utility this region will be in the economic development is being highlighted by the two important regional models that has been proposed. One of the regional model is the Perrock's model, the another regional model is the Baudelaire's model. So Perrock's and Baudelaire's has come out with the regional model, and this regional model mainly talks about that what development approach to follow for the development. In a way you can say these are the development theories. So the concept of growth center, growth pole. So growth center concept simply propagates like at the same time we cannot guarantee that all the regions will develop or all the places will develop. Like if in India, if you want to go for the development, so it is not possible that all the areas will develop in one go. In fact, this was a very important model that has been followed by the India also. Of course, there has been some drawbacks, some loopholes, but our policy makers has come out with this model and it was very attractive in that time period. If you look out the India's industrial development after the independence, so we have followed this growth center model of the Perrock's, and in that by following that we have gone for the industrial development of the central India, settling of the heavy industries, because it has been developed as a growth center, growth pole, and it was thought that once the growth will develop, all the neighboring area will get benefited and it will develop. Then we have the regional imbalances. So regional imbalances, like one of the region is more developed, another region is less developed. Now this regional imbalances not necessarily is a man-made only, it is a nature also. Like if we look out the hilly area and the plain area, hilly area will always have some disadvantage in comparison to the plain area related to the development, because the plain area will have a soil, we have a chances of more development, more settlement, human resources. Hilly area you will have some of the problems. Similarly, the arid area and humid area, arid area will have some of the problems. So this regional imbalances is prevalent. We have a both natural as well as man-made. Then regional development strategies, the different strategies that are being followed in the regional development, how to go for the development, like whether we should follow the top-down approach, bottom-to-top approach. So there are different approaches. Then what are the environmental issues in the regional planning, because when we are going for the development strategies, our main focus is for the growth, our main focus is for the development. But this growth and development, like the very famous, very classical example we can look out is the industrial revolution. When we have gone for the industrial revolution, at that time period, our entire focus was the making life easy. Our entire focus was making life easy for the population to better resource, better harnessing the resources, the economic development, economic growth. But after some time we have realized that this economic development will have a negative impact over the environment associated with the carbon emission, carbon dioxide emission, greenhouse gases. So the environmental issues in the regional planning. And ultimately, so to take care of this kind of problem, we need to go for the planning for sustainable development. So whatever the strategy that we should follow, that its strategy should be more in sync with the sustainable development. That is the kind of development which will fulfill the requirement of the present generation, but also it will not hamper the requirement of the future generation. Then we have some of the questions if you look out. So in 2024 there were 2 questions, that is 25 marks, whereas in 2023 also there were 2 questions of 25 marks. There is a need for gender sensitive regional development, means in all the regional development strategies the focus happens to be the different aspect, but how many times we have given the focus to the gender sensitive. So little bit more applicable, more applied question. Of course the topic of the regional development strategies, but in that strategies you need to give the examples. Assess the criteria required for selecting regions for the development planning, again a direct question from the topic. Discuss the different types of polarization induced spatial inequalities and imbalances associated with the growth pole. So the mixing of growth pole and the regional imbalance. Describe the concept of planning region, the different types of region. Explain the environmental and economic factor in the creation of such regions. So the environmental issues in the regional development. Moving to the last chapter of paper 1. So when you will look out the last chapter of the paper 1, that is models, theories and laws in human geography. So as I said that it is the repetition, like systems analysis in human geography, that is part of the perspectives. So perspective में आप इसे पढ़ेंगे, perspectives in human geography. Then we have a Malthusian, Marxian and demographic transition model. Malthusian, Marxian and demographic transition model is nothing but it is the population theories. So population theories is being part of the population chapter. Then central place theory of Christaller and Losch. Again it is a chapter of topic of settlement chapter. Then Perox and Baudeville, regional planning. Then von Thünen's model of agricultural location, economic geography. Then Weber's model of industrial location, that is economic geography. So in fact you can say these are nothing but these are the repetition जो आप पहले पढ़ चुके हैं, जो topics पहले के chapters में आप पढ़ चुके हैं, because von Thünen's model of agriculture, तो agriculture productivity and how to make agriculture profitable cannot be studied until unless you will have the idea of von Thünen's model. Weber's model of industrial location, the industrial development cannot be studied. Why the industries initially has been set up in the Western world, how these industries have over the period of time moved out from that areas, how the maquiladoras have been set up, how the China became the industrial manufacturing hub of the world. So that is associated with the classical model of Weber. Then we have a Rostov's model of stages of growth. Rostov's model, Rostov has predicted that how the society and social aspect is associated with the economic aspect. So Rostov in a way trying to justify the colonial concept, because he talks about that every society requires some kind of a stimulus, and stimuli he was suggesting in the form of colonialism. So he predicted that over the period of time societies will grow, and societies will grow like from the primitive society to the highly developed societies, and here there will be some of the linkages of the society and the development. That is the Rostov's model. Then we have some political geography concept, that is the concept of heartland and rimland theories. Heartland and rimland theories are very important geopolitical theories. Like in the present time period or in the recent past or even in future, most of the global geopolitics, global problems that you will come across, you will find is being influenced by this idea of heartland and rimland theory. Heartland theory has been given by the Mackinder, rimland theory has been given by the Spikeman. So both the concept is having a beauty. Heartland concept mainly believes that you will have some of the area which is like a fortress, and that fortress will control the entire world. Then the rimland has given more focus to the outer area of the fortress, and that is the water bodies. Then we have laws of international boundaries and frontier. What is the boundaries? What are the different type of boundary we have? What is the frontier? What is the difference between the boundaries and frontiers? So all these are the topics that you are supposed to study in this. Now, if you look out the questions related to these topics, you will find that explain theoretical framework and stages of economic growth. So, direct question from the growth pole. Explain the heartland theory with reference to contemporary geopolitical scenario. So, primarily associated with the Russia-Ukraine crisis. NATO's trying to have a more grip of the nearby areas of the Russia. So, in 2024 there were 2 questions of 25 marks. In 2023 there was 3-4 questions, almost 60 marks. So, questions like, has Malthusian theory been discredited? Again, population concept. Explain with the suitable diagram a Loesch model of the theory of location related to the central place. So, that central place theory of Christaller and Loesch, CBD. Why has this been criticized? Then the stages of demographic transition, DTT, direct question of the population theory. Then we have a boundaries and frontiers have different meaning in geographical literature. So, what is the boundary, what is the frontiers? Substantiate your answer in the present context, again a direct question. So, models and theories, there are limited number of theories in the human geography that you are supposed to study, and out of all the theories regularly you will get the direct question. Now, in the end, as far as reference is concerned, so in the previous session while discussing the first part of human geography, I already have given the list of 2 books. One is for the geographical thought, the another for the models and models theories by the Majid Hussain. The same models and theories book by the Majid Hussain will cover the most part of your topics of economic geography, regional planning, models and theories chapter. So, human geography can be covered by the 2 books. One is the models and theories by the Majid Hussain, and the second book is your geographical thought by R.D. Dixit. So, these 2 books will be more than sufficient. So, total 3 books through which you can cover the entire paper 1 syllabus. One is the physical geography by Sabinder Singh and these 2 books. Along with this, of course, you require atlas for the mapper. That's it for the paper 1 syllabus discussion. Now, we will move to the paper 2 geography optional paper 2 syllabus discussion. So, that we will continue in the next upcoming sessions. Thank you.